Good morning, Bahlale Makaya. My name is Nontokozo Kwala, Intombi yakamhlaba. Today, I just want to give you an update on the driving demerits story. The Apex Court has initially expected to uphold a Pretoria High Court decision made in January 2022, which rules that Aruto was unconstitutional and invalid and should be scrapped in its entirety. The application to confirm the January 2022 ruling was brought by the civil group, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, OUTA, which argued that the legislation was flawed in several ways, was concerned about making money and infringements on the rights of drivers and owners of vehicle. It makes sense. It makes sense why the taxi industry was very much concerned about the demerits. The organization further advanced that the Act intrudes on the functions of local and provincial government as outlined by the Constitution, preventing local and provincial government for regulating their own affairs, and an argument with which the Concord disagree. The Minister of Transport, the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, the Road Traffic Infringement Authority, and Appeals Tribunal were respondent in the matter. This court has therefore refused to confirm the order of invalidity made by the High Court, has upheld the minister's appeal and set aside the order of the High Court and replaced it with an order dismissing OUTA's application. Business Days reported that Aruto is seen by the government as a way of penalize repeat driving offenders with a point demerit system. Drivers who collected more than 15 points will have the driver's license suspended or eventually cancelled. In addition, Aruto will legalize the service of fines by emails. Reacting to the judgment, OUTA Executive Director Advocate Fix said the organization was on the view that the legislation was impractical and will not effectively address the epidemic of road traffic fatalities and injuries. We are disappointed with the Concord's decision, but abide by the Apex Court ruling. OUTA believes that measures to improve road safety and reduce fatalities are urgently needed. However, we don't believe that the Aruto's Act will achieve this. It's just not practical, possible. South Africa needs effective processes enabled by fair adjudication that comply with the Constitution, he said. The organization believes that the legislation is likely to result in troublesome and complex issues for most motorists and motor vehicle owners and will not enhance road safety. Currently, traffic violations are dealt with as criminal offense, but the Aruto coming into effect, most of the violation will be decriminalized and dealt with through an administrative rather than criminal process. Good shot. Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga welcomed the Concord judgment, which she said affirmed the government's view that Aruto has been a necessary law to help arrest on the South African roads. The legislation will help reinforce interventions such as classifying traffic policing as a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, along the regulation of driving schools and introduction of NQF Level 6 training for traffic law enforcement officers. However, Auta argues that the challenges faced by Auto are largely due to poor enforcement, a lack of administrative discipline when it comes to traffic infringement management, and problem in the management of vehicle and driver's license. Merely, legislation policy does not make it rational or workable. Government often suffers from a false belief that if the law and regulation are in place, the people will simply comply. Very true and correct. Irrational and impractical laws and the lack of transparency result in pushback from society, making a system ungovernable. The sad reality is that the government begins to suffer from a crisis of legitimacy when it cannot exercise its power over people by effectively enforcing its legislation and policies. I think this legislation needs to also go back on for consultation with all the stakeholders before its implementation, because there is obviously a pushback from stakeholders, and its implementation will face a lot of challenges because the taxi industry is where there is majority of stakeholders, so there is a need for further consultation, and before they can even go back to the court, they must find understanding amongst themselves. Thank you very much for listening to this voiceover. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment down below, and press the notification button. Thank you very much.